Okay, well, let's go ahead and get started. Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. I'm sure we're going to get some more people come on, which is great. That's usually what happens. So my name is Monica Nesbitt. I am the development manager with the NANP, and I'm delighted to welcome our friends from Portland Community College today. We've got Zrinka Glavis and Amy Evans with us, and they're going to be talking about PCC and all of the great things that they're doing over there. So let me give you a brief intro. Zrinka is the lead instructor at Portland Community College. She holds a master's in nutrition and a master's in education. She brings a diverse background in functional nutrition, herbal medicine, traditional Chinese medicine, clinical research, and 20 years of teaching experience to her role as a lead instructor for the PCC Functional Nutrition Program. She teaches the holistic nutrition therapy and research and evidence-based practice for nutrition therapy modules. She is also adjunct faculty at NUNM, a clinician and a researcher. Amy is the program coordinator at Portland Community College. She has a master's degree and has over 20 years of experience in program development and health promotion. While working for the Portland Community College Institute of Health Professionals, Amy created their mental and behavioral health programs, including the interpersonal neurobiology program, as well as specialty programs, including a certificate in clinical research. She began expanding their integrative healthcare offerings in 2018 and is delighted to support healthcare providers in learning to become nationally certified in holistic modalities. A former licensed massage therapist, energy healer, and health educator, Amy has a passion for supporting professionals in utilizing innovative, holistic concepts in working with clients. Amy's lived in Portland for over 10 years and enjoys hiking, canoeing, gardening, and connecting with others. So ladies, I'm going to turn it over to you. To our attendees, if you have any questions, put them in the chat window. I'll be happy to monitor that and get them going. And Zrinka, I'm turning it over to you. Thanks.
Thank you, Monica.
Thank you so much, Monica. We are so delighted to be spending a little time with everyone today, sharing more about our program, and really excited to answer all the questions that you may have at the end as well. Zrinka is going to start us off.
Thank you. So welcome, everyone. So first of all, I wanted to speak a little bit about food as medicine and where it is that we find ourselves in the United States these days. From 400 BC, when it is that Hippocrates stated, "Let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food," we've come a long way. Today, the leading causes of death in the US are linked to unhealthful diet and lifestyle. Dietary risk factors have surpassed tobacco use as the leading cause of death. Poor nutrition, as many of you know, and it's why you're highly likely finding yourself in this webinar today, is that it's a risk factor for heart disease, lung cancer, high BMI, hypertension, blood sugar, and many other conditions. In the United States today, we're finding that 6 in 10 US adults have a chronic disease and 4 in 10 have 2 or more. Yet, on the other hand, medical students receive on average 19.6 hours of nutrition education during their medical school careers. The National Academy of Sciences back in 2010 set a minimum standard of 25 hours for medical educational institutions, yet only 27% of schools met this minimum. And this is why the NANP exists, and this is also why it is that our program exists, because we're looking to fill that gap. We recognize that food truly can lead to health and that food can be medicine. That's why we offer 1,080 hours within the PCC IHP Functional Nutrition Program, and we delve deep into how it is that food can be medicine. So what is functional nutrition? Many individuals talk about functional nutrition and holistic nutrition, and how is it that they differ? Holistic nutrition focuses on the entire individual, just like any other holistic modality. So we don't look at things in isolation. We don't look at treating symptoms, but we look at treating the root cause. And so functional nutrition is similar to holistic nutrition, but there's a little bit more added to functional nutrition. We focus a little more on labs and data, which I'll speak about later. The assessment modes that we use will be a little bit more elaborate than perhaps some holistic nutritionists might utilize in their practice. I really like this definition by the Institute of Functional Medicine, which talks about functional nutrition, and it states that functional nutrition emphasizes high quality foods and phytonutrient diversity, that is plant diversity. So all of those antioxidants, phytonutrients that we can find in all plant foods. To address clinical imbalances and move people to their highest expression of health. And that's what we focus on in the program. It's how to move each individual to their highest expression of health. Everybody is at a different starting point and they have different goals, but yet together with the individual that we're working with, or if we're working with groups, we're looking to lead them towards their highest expression. So functional nutrition recognizes and teaches people that food is medicine, as I already stated. The program at PCC is a unique program. It differs from some other programs that are approved by the NANP. As I already mentioned, we're based in functional medicine and we specialize in personalized nutrition care. I'll provide some slides a little bit later delving into what exactly is personalized nutrition care. Many individuals today hear about the word bio-individual, and we most definitely do focus on bio-individual nutrition care, but we also focus on personalized nutrition care, which is a little more complex than just focusing on bio-individual care. The curriculum is evidence-based. We are definitely very strong in that category. All of our instructors have master's degrees or above, and we love to delve into the literature and to find all of the research studies that can corroborate all of the statements that we're making within the program. It's very important when dealing with somebody's health to ensure that what it is that we're suggesting has been tested and has also been proven to be successful. The last thing that we want to do is offer suggestions that we're not entirely sure about. And so we're very heavy on that evidence-based piece. We also address traditional wisdom as well. Not all traditional medical systems have a lot of research behind them, like Chinese medicine and Ayurveda. And so in instances where there is a lot of empirical data supporting a particular protocol or a particular food, when a person is dealing with an imbalance, we most definitely do recognize that there's great value and that it's been proven to have value over the years, even though it may not have been published in a research study yet. The program at PCC offers a foundational platform for lifelong learning. And our instructors, as I mentioned, are highly credentialed and specialized practitioners. I'll delve into this a little bit more deeply later. Our curriculum is designed in such a way that it utilizes a flipped plus model. I'll speak to the flipped plus model in a little bit as well. And I did want to indicate that even though the PCC IHP functional nutrition program has been utilizing the flipped plus curriculum for years, since 2016, we revamped it in 2021. The last approval that we've gotten 3 approvals from the NANP for our educational content and program thus far, and the last approval was in March of this year. We're approved all the way up until 2026. The functional nutrition program at PCC is approved, as mentioned, by the NANP, and one of the benefits of that is that you can then choose to sit in on the Holistic Nutrition Credentialing Board exam. And so what that would offer you is credibility. The BCHN, or Board Certified in Holistic Nutrition logo, can be added after your name. And this means that you've gone through a rigorous program that delves deep into how it is that nutrition can actually work on balancing out those clinical imbalances that we talked about. The functional nutrition program also offers a board exam study guide beyond what it is that the NANP offers. So we've created a study guide that guides you towards where exactly in our program you can find the key concepts, the objectives, and the skills that will be tested on the HNCV board exam. In addition to sitting in on the board exam with the HNCB, you're also needing to gain 500 contact hours before you can become certified. The details of that, I'm sure that many of you are familiar with, but you can find that on the NANP's website. I'll pass it over to Amy.
Thank you, Zrinka. So I'm going to share a few more of our program details with you. First of all, we are a one-year program, and because we are attached to a college, we define that year by 4 terms. So starting in the fall, going through winter, summer, and then winter, spring, and then ending in summer. The program generally starts in late September, and the students graduate around Labor Day, give or take. We provide a lot of our content through a virtual classroom experience like this. Zoom is our platform of choice as well for that content delivery. And we plug Zoom into a larger learning management system so that you're able to house all your documents, assignments, recordings of all of those sessions. Everything is really conveniently held in one place that you can access. A lot of optional resources, PowerPoint presentations from the presenters and the instructors and everybody are very active readily throughout the program there. Looks like our presentation is getting retooled there. So I will just go ahead and let you know that as part of our PCC system, you really get access to a lot of other things in being part of that. One of those includes a PCC email account. This is a Google-based account, and a lot of people love having that additional storage space for all of the information that they're gleaning throughout the program. We utilize a combination of synchronous and asynchronous formats. So most of your classes are live streamed on Mondays and Thursday evenings from 6 to 8 p.m. We'll talk about that a little bit more later. And then within that, there's also pre-recorded sessions that you can watch in preparation for those live stream sessions. We use a lot of the live stream to really help you delve more fully into some of the concepts and work with applying them, as Zrinka will explain a little bit more. And so we find that combination really gives everyone a great exposure as well as a really practical understanding of the material that is being taught. As I mentioned, all of the Zoom sessions are recorded so that you have that library available if you needed to miss a session or if you wanted to review some of the information that was shared. And then there's also discussion boards and online options, study groups, different ways that all the students can interact with each other in between those sessions. Because we really wanted to facilitate a way that students from across North America could come together and have high quality access to all of the material in a variety of ways and to meet different learning styles. I think if you could, one more slide back. Thank you, Zrinka. The next slide, there we go. So as being part of that larger institution, Portland Community College gives students full access to their library, which includes a lot of online databases and different services. We have a robust career service department, student services that really help students navigate a wide variety of needs as things arise. We also have a dedicated student help desk so that if you do have any upgrades to your computer or have any snafus and things, you need somebody to help share, be a resource or help you problem solve some of that. You've got a dedicated team of people that are well trained and eager to assist you with all of that. We meet the educational requirements for the NANP through providing 2 non-credit training certificates. So these certificates have not only been vetted by NANP as meeting their really rigorous standards, they also are recognized by the state of Oregon as a non-credit training certificate. You earn the first one after you've completed the first half of the program, so the fall and winter terms, and then the second one is earned after you complete the second half of the program, so the spring and summer terms. And then at the end, you'll get your full certificate and something lovely to hang on your wall as part of your graduation there. We do have a very long-standing relationship with NANP and are proud to have been a part of of working with them for so many years, dating back to 2010. As Rinka mentioned, we recently went through the reapproval process to make sure that our curriculum closely aligns with their new standards, and we were approved. Our curriculum is approved through 2026. So we are really excited to continue moving and being part of that evolving work that they are doing and that this field is known for. Our tuition, because we really value that partnership with NANP and find them such a wonderful resource for connecting students as they prepare throughout their entire careers, we include our NANP or your NANP student membership in your tuition price. The tuition also includes the fees for the HNCB application and exam. So this becomes a savings of $528 that we've woven into our program costs, just to help make sure that students are able to really progress forward with less things to worry about and with all of those wonderful resources that NANP is known for offering. Thank you. Any other thoughts, Rinka, to share?
I think that's everything for this slide. Thank you, Amy.
Right. Amy, and Drinka, I just wanted to just double clarify, because that's pretty great that you are including the NANP student membership and the HNCB application and exam fees. Over $500. That's really fabulous. Thank you.
Thanks, Monica.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're excited about that too. So Rinka is going to share a little bit more about our instructors and how they work with you through this unique Flipped Plus curriculum that we have embraced.
Okay, so as we mentioned, our instructors are highly credentialed and specialized practitioners. Rather than employing instructors who are chiropractors or naturopathic doctors, we aimed to look to get instructors who have master's degrees in nutrition who are teaching nutrition-related content, just because it's most applicable for what it is that you will be doing in your future. It's a little hard sometimes for a naturopathic doctor, for a DO or a chiropractor to fully understand what it is that is done in session, even though they have rigorous medical training. And so what we've done is we've focused on hiring instructors who not just have a master's degree in nutrition, teaching the nutrition content, but who also have been active practitioners and working in the field. Those classes which don't focus on nutrition, like business skills, we have a fantastic instructor who's a senior advisor for the Small Business Development Center at PCC, and he guides students through how to build a business plan. And the SBDC, in addition to having tons of resources that we can make available and that we do make available to our students, they also offer one-on-one consultations for small businesses. And so that's a definite benefit of our program. For nutrition counseling skills, we have somebody who has a master's in counseling and also a nutrition certificate teaching that course. Herbal medicine is taught by somebody who also has a master's in Ayurveda and nutrition and herbalism. And so I just wanted to highlight that we place great emphasis on education and just ensuring that our instructors are highly educated, highly credentialed, and specialized in their field so that they can serve you the best that they can. So the role of the instructor in a flipped classroom, which I'll be speaking about a little bit more through the next few slides, is that instead of being the deliverer and the source of knowledge, our instructors aim to be more of a facilitator, that of a coach. Rather than telling you what they know, they probe your knowledge and push you to build your own knowledge. Another way to look at this is that the traditional classroom is such that the instructor stands in front of the class, and sometimes classes will be lecture style. That is frequently in the old model, they will be lecture style. We've moved away from the lecture style and we've created asynchronous content that is videos that are accessible to you that you can watch on your own time that address that lecture portion. And so that you can stop and pause and rewatch and learn at your own pace. One of the biggest deficits of the traditional classroom is that students learn at a different pace. So depending on what sort of foundation you have coming into the program, whether you're already a practicing healthcare practitioner who is looking to add nutrition to your practice, or if you're looking to start a career in nutrition, the the knowledge with which you will enter into the program is different. And so we wanted to honor that and also set everybody up for success. And so we offer asynchronous content via videos that you watch before our live sessions. And in the live sessions, we do what's called a flipped plus design. And so what this means is that the instructor guides you through case studies, and students work together on solving cases. You're put into breakout rooms. There's specific things that you're looked to solve, and you're looking to create essentially nutrition plans and practice what it is that you'll be doing afterwards. And so before the class, on Mondays and Thursdays, you're required to complete prep works. These prep works contain all of the readings and also the videos that you're required to watch and the assessments, so that when you come into class, which is from 6 to 8 p.m. PST on Mondays and Thursdays, you can delve deeper into this material. I really like Bloom's taxonomy and this pyramid of the different levels or layers of learning. And so if you look at the very base of the pyramid, remembering is considered to be what it is that's called like a low level activity when it comes to learning. Understanding the information is a little bit more complex. And so what we've done in our videos is we focus on those two lower level activities of learning. So that's the pre-classroom content. We want you to be able to understand key concepts before you come into class. And once you come into class, you're then invited to apply that knowledge, analyze it, evaluate it, and create with that knowledge, which is at the tip of the iceberg. Okay, so I mentioned that there are self-paced activities and also required activities, which are live. And so on Mondays and Thursdays from 6 to 8 p.m. PST are our live sessions. In addition to that, instructors are also available in office hours. A great benefit of our program is that it's not entirely self-paced. We offer up to 5 hours of live instructor content weekly throughout our 40-week program. So our year-long program is divided, as Amy mentioned, into 4 different terms, 40 weeks long. And so that's more than 200 hours of instructor content. In addition to that, you receive 2 hours of weekly recordings that you can go through at your own time. And there are assessments and discussion posts that you do on your own time as well. Okay, we like to focus a lot on personalized nutrition, as I mentioned at the very beginning. And so what does personalized nutrition mean? I'll guide you through the 4 different stages here. And so to be able to work with somebody on looking to improve their nutrition, we need to be able to perform an assessment first and foremost. That includes quantitative and qualitative inputs, things such as diet, behavior, symptoms. Genomics is a little bit more advanced, and we don't delve into genomics that much in our program, but that's the tip of the iceberg, and that's the most cutting edge. And I'll speak to that a little bit in the next 2 slides. Biochemistry is very important in understanding why it is that something is happening. And so we start our program off with the bioscience of nutrition, and I'll go more into what we teach when. And then after we assess where it is that a person's at presently, and we get a whole picture of their system, then we go into interpreting this data. And we teach these elements within our program. So functional nutritional assessment is a module that will address the assessment piece. And here we talk about labs, and we also talk about interpreting those labs as well. After this, we have a module that's called Holistic Nutritional Therapy, and we start to discuss what it is that we can recommend to individuals to look to move them towards that highest expression of health that both we desire for them and that they desire for themselves. And so intervention is addressed in holistic nutritional therapy, and then monitoring and evaluation is discussed in both holistic nutritional therapy and also in nutritional counseling. As we know, many individuals know what it is that they are to do to move their health in the direction that they desire to, but why are they not doing that? How can we work with behavior change and understanding behavior change theories as to what it is that those common obstacles are in human behavior? And how can we work with that through motivational interviewing and other techniques that you'll learn in the program to move them towards what they desire for themselves? So personalized nutrition can be divided into 3 different categories. I spoke a little bit about personal nutrition guidance and therapeutics. Science and data is a very big part of personalized nutrition. Understanding biochemistry is important, understanding labs, as I mentioned, as well. And then professional nutrition, personalized nutrition, professional education and training is another component too. So continuing your education to continually understand the advancements in science as we're moving forward. Another way to look at this is that on the left-hand side, we can see personalized nutrition, science, and data. The more data that we have, the more personalized that we can get on the right-hand side. The less data that we have, the more generalized our approach will be. And so I mentioned that we move through from the bottom of the image where it states nutrition assessment and intake into interpreting labs and sometimes asking for the individuals that we're working with for them to go to their primary care physician and to request other labs so that we can better understand what's actually going on. The top niche we don't go into that's considered to be professional development, so things like genomics and functional biochemistry as well. Okay, so I'd like to speak about our program content. Amy mentioned that our program is divided into 4 different terms. Each term has several different segments embedded into it. So in term 1, from the onset, we go into research and evidence-based practice for nutritional therapy, which has you decipher what it is that's actually science-based and evidence-based out there. There's lots of information that you can access on nutrition, but what's considered to be a primary source of evidence and what's considered to be a secondary or a tertiary source of evidence. That is, how strong is that evidence and how much should we trust it? So we go into that in that segment of term 1. We also delve into the fundamentals of nutrition, which discusses macronutrients and micronutrients and different diets that are popular. Diets that we then recommend for individuals, such as the DASH diet, the Mediterranean diet, the SIBO diet, many therapeutic diets. The bioscience of nutrition delves into why it is that something is happening in the body and us understanding those different cycles and us also understanding the entire system. So a big component of bioscience of nutrition is going through a review of systems and understanding the cardiovascular system versus the lymphatic system, etc. Term 2 is divided into different segments as well. And so functional nutritional assessment goes into assessing what it is that a person is eating currently and how that's then impacting their health. And so we do this through diet journals, diet diaries, 24-hour recalls, and other methods that you'll learn in the program. We also go into functional nutritional labs, and I mentioned that a little bit earlier, so I won't talk about that more right now. Nutritional counseling skills delves into behavior change and motivational interviewing and getting people to move towards their goals and working with them. It's very important to work with an individual to not recommend something that we desire for their health, but something that they desire for their own health. And so we talk about how to work with an individual so that they can attain their goals and so that we can best lead them towards that end goal. Culinary nutrition focuses on creating menu plans for clients or for groups of individuals. And so it delves into different dietary approaches. So if somebody is needing to eat gluten-free or if they're needing to avoid histamine, for example, we delve into those components and we offer resources on how it is that you can put together these plans for individuals easily and quickly. Term 3 is labeled Your Practice. Holistic nutritional therapy is about 1/6 of term 3, so there's over 50 hours that we spend on holistic nutritional therapy. This is definitely the largest module within the entire program because this is the module that delves really deep into food as medicine. Business and practice considerations is taught, as mentioned, by a senior advisor at the Small Business Development Center, and you go through developing a business plan if you desire to create a business of your own. This small module will set you up to be able to understand what that will take, and the instructor is fantastic in getting individuals to go through this process and very supportive. Term 4 delves into how it is that our nutritional requirements change during our life cycle. If somebody's, for example, looking to get pregnant, their nutritional requirements will be different than if an individual is over 50 years old, let's just say a female who's postmenopausal. And so we talk about these differences in nutritional requirements and how they change during the life cycle. Introduction to Herbal Medicine gives you a taste of Ayurveda, traditional Chinese medicine, and also Western herbalism as well. Many times, individuals who work in the space of holistic and functional nutrition will recommend supplementation. And so this module will help you understand a little, it will help you understand more that if you're recommending something like ashwagandha, what actually ashwagandha is, what category it falls into in herbal medicine. It's an adaptogen. And so then you understand what it is that an adaptogen is, what other adaptogens are out there, and which one is the best one to select for an individual. In the capstone, we look to tie everything together. All of the modules that you've gone through the previous 10 months, you're looking to put into application. And you work with 2 clients as a student that you then guide through an initial session and then all the way through executing a plan. In addition to the capstone, we look to embed components of case studies from the very beginning. So in term 1, you already have exposure in the fundamentals of nutrition and bioscience of nutrition to case studies, and this continues throughout the entire program. But in term 4, the first time that you're actually working solo with clients under the supervision of a mentor is in the capstone. Something that we utilize within the PCC IHP program is something that's called backward design model. So it's very important for us to teach for understanding and for us to teach what's applicable in your field and also to set you up for success. And so we look at what it is that the end goal is. And so if the end goal is to work with individuals as a nutritionist, we work backwards. And so the capstone essentially is what it is that the end goal is to be able to work with individuals in nutrition. But yet from the very beginning of our program, we look to set you up so that we can bit by bit have you succeed in that end goal by the end of the program. Okay, I'll pass it over to Amy. And if anybody has questions about content or anything else, I will address those after in the Q&A section.
Thank you so much, Drinka. I'm going to share a little bit about 2 of the main investments that we would be working with you to make during your program. The first one is time. That is one of the big questions that people need to explore and know how much time they're committing to in the program to make sure that they are successful and that they can arrange their lives appropriately for the year that they will be with us. We do follow the standard Portland Community College term schedule. You can look that up anytime. PCC or Portland Community College academic calendar is generally how I find it. And you will see there that all of our terms are laid out for the next year. It starts with the current term. And so those are relatively consistent in their rotation. The terms run 10 to 11 weeks, and we provide a very detailed schedule for you specific to this program, highlighting the Mondays and the Thursdays that you need to log into class, but also noting holidays and other specialty shifts that may occur. But if you want to preview those and plan ahead, that schedule is available online, at least noting a lot of the key dates there. We mentioned that the program is 2 evenings a week, so we ask everyone to arrange their schedules and set aside Monday and Thursday evenings from 6 to 8 p.m. Pacific time. That we found that time frame allows most people to get home from work and be able to log in, or some people opt to stay at work, eat their dinner, finish up, and be there so that they don't have any of the distractions from home. Of course, now many people are working virtually, so part of the great thing is everyone gets to create the system that works best for them. But that time allows people from most time zones to be able to adjust their schedule. Maybe they join after kids have been put to bed on the East Coast, and others are working other ways to accommodate that. But 2 evenings a week, you plan to be with us for 2 hours. There's some optional office hours that each of the instructors provide adjacent to those times. So that will be in the schedule there. And then the asynchronous times that Drinka has already mentioned, you get to fit those in at your convenience. So the pre-recorded sessions, about an hour of content per night, are available for you to watch at any time of the day. Those are uploaded well in advance, so you have access to those. And then your discussion boards, homework and study group, all of that other outside preparation time, you can really work around your schedule as needed. We do follow the standard college model, which invites students to plan on 1 to 3 hours of study and preparation for every hour of instruction. So that averages out to be 6 to 8 hours of study and prep per week, in addition to the content that is delivered, that asynchronous and of course the synchronous live stream sessions on Mondays and Thursdays. The other investment that people often ask about is financial. So Drinka, if you could go to the next slide, please. We do charge, works out to be $15.99 per term, or just just under $6,400 for the entire program. As you can see, it's $63.96. There's also a technology fee that is $20 per term, so pretty nominal there. And again, that helps get you access to the student help desk and to this robust online learning management system to house all of your content and resources there. That tuition price also includes the NANP student membership, the HNCB resource guide, application for the exam, and the fees for the exam. So as you can see, that's a value of $528. And so weaving it into the tuition means that you don't have to worry about it later. You've got options to budget and prioritize other things that you may need to start your business or to utilize for your job search later and things. The investment that I've already referenced does not include your books for the program or the ongoing professional membership that hopefully you will decide to continue renewing with NANP throughout your career. We have worked with PCC to set up some very special, unique payment plans for this program that really help spread that cost out throughout the entire program. So there's one point of contact at the college to set up these really specialized payment plans. And she's great, really easy to work with, and can help make sure that everyone can pay this on a monthly basis if they prefer. Of course, we also accept grants, stipends, scholarships, any educational awards you may have, or employer education funding and things like that. So we have a department dedicated to helping work with all of that to ease some of that burden. So if you have a scholarship for part of it, that gets knocked off the top, and then you can pay the rest out to the payment plans and things like that. All right, I think the next slide is going to go back to Drinka. She's going to share some more about all the different people that we love serving through this program.
Thank you, Amy. So who should take this program? So anybody who's looking to begin a professional nutrition career. We've had many individuals apply who have perhaps dabbled in various areas of healthcare and who have then clarified for themselves that they want to pursue a career in nutrition. Sometimes these individuals will also have backgrounds that are completely unrelated to nutrition and to healthcare, the individuals who apply. And we definitely do accept applications from a diverse background, from diverse careers in the past, yet being very clear that nutrition is something that you want to focus on, and being clear on what it is that you desire to do with nutrition, whether that's to support your family or to work with groups of individuals or to work clinically. All of those individuals are welcome to apply. We also have had many individuals apply to our program who are already healthcare professionals, and they just want to add nutrition as a credential, and so that they can start offering nutritional suggestions within their practices. So for example, if somebody is working in the field of psychiatry, nutrition can most definitely help a lot with mental health. And so that's just one example. We've had individuals who have been nurse practitioners, nurses, you name it, individuals from across the board in the healthcare field. Oops. So Amy will talk about next steps next.
Yeah, so the biggest next step at this juncture is to apply. Applications are open right now, and we are accepting applications through September 10th this year. So we're really excited to be getting a lot of applications in and working with people that are really excited to start their career and their training to support everyone with their nutritional needs. The next slide shares a little bit about our typical application timeline. So I'll share that as a general and also offer a few of the specifics for this year. So applications typically open in late spring, late May, early June, somewhere in there. We make the applications available, and those are found online through the link that you see there, or just by finding our functional nutrition program. Scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page and the application link lives there. It's a PDF file that you complete and then submit to us. We do accept them applications on a rolling basis until early to mid-September. As we mentioned for this year, that deadline is September 10th. And we honor those that choose to apply early by giving them that early acceptance. Registration for the fall term always opens in early to mid-August. This year, that opening date for registration is August 11th. So getting your application in early gives you that priority registration option. As Zrinka mentioned, we do prefer to have more intimate classes, making sure that students get to really ask their questions and be part of a growing cohort where they get to know each other. And so we do limit the class size right now to 25 students, and so being part of that early application process ensures you a slot in there. Once you have been approved, we provide the registration and tuition payment information, as well as a very detailed welcome letter that provides a lot of information, your book list. We're in regular contact with you and are happy to answer questions to help make sure that everyone is ready and prepared for that first day of class. The fall term dates change every year a little bit, but they're usually mid to late September, around the 20th, give or take. And so this year, we're starting with the orientation. We always start with the program orientation, but we've scheduled that orientation a little bit early, and that way your first class will start at the beginning of the fall term, I believe September 27th, if I recall correctly. The orientation is the 23rd and the first class is the 27th. So, yeah. And I think we are up to the Q&A portion, unless Zrinka or Monica have anything else that they'd like to add.
I think you've covered it really well. We can address specific questions in the Q&A. Thank you, Amy.
Great, thank you.
Thanks, Amy. Thanks, Zrinka. So questions, pop them into the chat window and we'll be happy to answer them. Actually, I have a question. So what percentage of your graduates go on to become practitioners? Holistic nutrition practitioners?
That's a really great question. I don't have the stat offhand right now, but if somebody does have that question, I could look into that and send them a direct email. Yeah, great question, Monica, and I should have that available just off the top of the bat, but next time.
That's okay.
Actually, one of the reasons we don't have a really good answer to that question is because we have not been, due to FERPA and some of the other things that we've been complying with, we haven't really been able to do a lot of follow-up surveys with our students. So we really only learn about those students that choose to keep in touch with us. But we do know that a lot of our, several of our students are already healthcare providers, massage therapists, dentists, acupuncturists, looking to enhance. So we presume that they are moving forward and utilizing this knowledge with their clients. And then I've talked to several of our graduates who come back later and share some of their success or a little bit about what they're doing. But to date, we just haven't been able to create a metric for measuring that.
Oh, super. Well, thank you so much. So Jessica would like to know, do we need prerequisites for the program?
So as far as having specific subjects that you're required to complete before you apply for the program, there are not prerequisites. And so you're not required to study biology or chemistry before you go into the program, or anatomy and physiology. We cover those topics as they pertain to nutrition and give you that training within the year-long program. Amy, I'm not sure if there's something that you would like to cover from the PCC end in terms of prerequisites.
The only thing is really just help that we've always included as part of that is being college ready. Being a certificate program, we find that sometimes people don't recognize the rigor and the depth that we are providing. And so that is part of the application process. And in that application, we do ask for a copy of your college transcripts or diplomas or past education. We've also been very successful working with people who have not previously attended a formal higher education institute. So that is to say, don't be discouraged if you don't have that credential. Just know that we'll want to have a conversation with you to make sure that you are ready and are aware of college level classes and some of the things to navigate within that.
Thanks, Amy. Hold on, we have another question. Jessica also asks, is this doable as someone out of state working completely virtually?
Absolutely. We intentionally designed this for the working professional and with the mindset that we wanted to make it available all throughout North America. Several of our programs actually have international participation, but with this one having so much of that live streamed requirement in the evenings, we presume that North America is probably a better target. And we've had people that are working full-time from anywhere and participate in this fully and get a lot out of it. Drinka, did you have anything else you wanted to add?
No, I just wanted to reiterate that we have had many individuals apply and register for the program and complete the program that have been on the East Coast. And we even had a student last year who needed to go to Africa for a little while and was tuning in a completely different time zone. So it is definitely possible. Many individuals do have full-time jobs that are looking to gain the certificate. Just being aware, though, as Amy had mentioned, that depending on what it is that your knowledge is coming into the program, that studying piece there for any college level course, you're expected to put in anywhere between 1 to 3 hours for each hour of contact time. So that can be as little as 10 hours a week or 12 hours a week to up to 18 or 24 if nutrition is challenging for you. So really depending on where it is that your starting point is and how quickly you can learn concepts. The instructors definitely look to support that process. And that's one of the big reasons why we decided to take on the flipped curriculum model so that you can have lots of mentorship live on a weekly basis and on a consistent basis. We've found that if it's left to be a little too self-paced, individuals are left at the end of a specific period, just not really understanding fully like how they can advance very quickly and apply knowledge to truly create change in healthcare.
I'll also add that our instructors are really wonderful with supporting students with supplemental resources and optional resources, especially if people have an interest in a particular area and they're looking for suggestions for books or other resources where they can delve more into that independently. And so some of our students who are working full-time capture all of those resources and catalog them to tend to later once they've graduated and aren't trying to navigate the live classes and the studying and prep time for the actual program. But they may do that after they sit for the exam, or kind of continue to apply that study time that they had set aside towards exploring some of those. Whereas some of the students that are working part-time or have been able to really commit most of their time to the program, they'll take advantage of some of those resources while they're navigating the rest of what they're studying, and treat it as more of a not quite full-time, but they'll put more full-time effort into their education, since they don't have as many other commitments there.
Thanks, Amy. And Drinka, any other questions or comments? I got a couple thank yous and great information, obviously. For those of you who are on, you will get a copy of this presentation. It usually comes out about 24 hours later. And then Drinka and Amy have put together a really great follow-up document that addresses the 15 questions that the NANP put together when you want to choose a school. And so that will also be coming, really great resources. And of course, I know that Amy and Drinka are delighted to answer any questions that you may have afterwards. So if you want to jot down their email addresses, that's a good idea right now. So any closing comments?
Thank you so much for thanks for this opportunity. We're really glad to be able to be with everyone. And as Monica correctly presumed, we are happy to answer questions or have conversations with you as the need arises.
Super. So yes, so go ahead and let everybody know, or sorry, I will go ahead and let, go ahead and send out the presentation afterwards. And we got thank yous from Hennet and from Alessandra. Hennet, you are giving us your email address. Was there a particular question that you wanted to have answered, or do I have a follow-up here? No, that's fine. Ladies.
Hennet and I have already been in contact, so I do have Hennet's.
Okay, super. I'm glad to hear that. Ladies, thank you so very much. It was a great presentation. I actually learned quite a bit about what you offer, and it's always great to learn more about our partners. Thank you for being a partner to the NANP, and thanks so much for your time and your hard work today. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We're going to go ahead and sign off, and we'll talk later.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.